You have been lied to. You spend months drawing things with vanishing points, doing perspective, because, you
gotta know your perspective.
and you still cannot place your characters in space. You have no idea how to even move an arm a meter closer to the camera. Your drawings feel flat. And that's because practicing traditional perspective will not, and I repeat, will not help you draw anything in space. Well, unless you're into very square cityscapes, I guess. I know the feeling because I had the same problem and I wasted years wondering why I was not getting better at it until I figured out formal perspective was not really the answer. So today I will share with you what fixed this issue for me once and for all, and the good thing is it's actually very easy. So easy in fact that it almost feels like cheating. Let's go. Alright, let's start by drawing a random series of segments. This is what most people's drawings look like. It's just a 2D shape of sorts. In order to make it exist in space, we need to give it context. Now you might at this point use some of those boring vanishing point exercise things you've drilled, but I would argue it wasn't probably necessary to overdo it as much as you've probably done. So let's draw a set of lines that ideally converge towards the right. Let's do the exact same on the left, paying attention to the rough direction where they converge. Ideally, they can converge up towards roughly the same height. Basically, as if their point of convergence is on the same horizontal line. Otherwise, it's going to be like tilting your head on one side or the other. Now, out of these, basically where they intersect, let's make a sort of a square shape that represents the ground plane. And notice, all I want here is for these parallel sets of lines to converge either to the left or to the right. If you have no idea what I'm talking about at this point, before you go ahead, do check out the crash course video that I made about this alternative perspective method in the video description. Either way, we're just seeing this thing as a sort of a plane or the top of a box. Then what do? Well, we subdivide it in tiles. They don't need to be square tiles, at least not for now, but see if you can make them roughly the same size by bisecting this plane and bisecting it again in both directions. We're basically subdividing the square in 16 smaller squares like I do in the video that I mentioned a while ago. Okay, now we got these two things, we put them together. Well, the crappy segmented thing has a world around it but has no relationship to it at all. In order to establish this relationship, we must fix it, deciding where these lines live in space. And we do so by projecting the vertices of this segmented line on the ground. And when I say project, I mean vertically down, as if there is a big spotlight above this thing casting a shadow. Now here's the catch. Where these points touch is completely arbitrary. So you can have something like this or something like this. And depending on where I decide to project these lines, these segments will have a different 3D length and represent a different rotation of an object in space. So if I now add cylinders to this, it can be something like so, or this, or this. All these options are technically valid. Obviously, if you're drawing a person, you cannot have a 10 feet arm, so stay within reason. But adding projections will let you gauge the relative position and proportion of these segments so that you can better perceive and use the fictional space that you created. That's pretty much it. It's that simple. Just sticks. So practice this. Practice with sticks first and then try adding volumes and you will see a massive, I promise you, a massive change in the way you perceive space and are able to add volume to your drawings. That's all I have for you today. If you found this useful, as always, leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching and take care.